So 3.5 is called sinusoidal functions. We're continuing with sinusoidal functions, which means sine and cosine. Today we're going to talk about what happens when we kind of shift it up and down, stretch it out, shrink it, that kind of stuff. But how does that affect your amplitude, your period, something called a phase shift, and your midline? That's kind of what today's focus is. It is going to affect them. I like your prediction.
I got it already.
All right, so sinusoidal functions. Some of this we already know. It is, by definition, any function with an additive and multiplicative transformation of sine. It also includes cosine because cosine is an additive transformation of sine. If I take sine and I shift it pi over 2 to the right or to the left, I end up with cosine. The period, which we've already found, is the smallest positive value such that when I shift it horizontally, so f of theta plus k, it equals the original. So how long does it take to complete one full cycle of the curve? That's your period. The frequency is the reciprocal of the period. So this is new. Whatever I got for the period, I would find the reciprocal, and that's your frequency. So if the period was 2, the reciprocal is 1/2. And the frequency would be 1/2. The amplitude is half the difference between the max and the minimum value. We already talked about that. And the midline is the average of the max value and the minimum value. So if I'm trying to, if I have those values, then remember I could say amplitude is max minus min divided by 2. And the midline is max plus min divided by 2. And sometimes we mess these up. Okay, so a little trick to help you learn which one's which. If you were to think about amplitude, it starts with the capital A. That capital A has a minus in it, okay? So max minus min divided by 2. On a graph, let's say this is the sine curve, okay? The midline is that horizontal line that runs like through the average of your height and your min and your max, okay? The sine curve hits your midline at the beginning, the halfway point, and the end. Where the cosine curve, let's say this is your midline, the cosine curve hits your midline at the quarter point and the 3/4 point. So those values, like when we're finding our y values on your FRQ, if it's sine, that midline happens at the first point, the middle point, and the last point. And if it's cosine, it happens on the quarter point and the 3/4 point. All right. Sine, we already said for sine and cosine, the period, this is for our parent function, the period is 2 pi, which means the frequency is 1 over 2 pi. For the parent function, the amplitude is 1. That's how high up and how low I go. The midline is it's an actual line, which means it gets it in equation form. So the midline would be y equals 0. If you look at this graph, midline is y equals 0. I'm going up 1 and down 1. There's my amplitude. Okay, the period, how far it takes to get from one start to the finish, is 2 pi. And sine is an odd function. What's it mean to be odd in math terms? It's symmetric to origin. Good. So whatever's happening over here gets reflected down here. Okay. Now cosine, midline is still at 0. Amplitude is still at 1, but it is even. And what does even mean? Symmetric to the y. So whatever's happening there happens there. Okay, but now we're going to move these suckers around. Okay. So to find the amplitude on this graph, I'm going to find my max and find my min. 6 minus a negative 2 over 2, 8 over 2, which is 4. I'm going to go to the midline and then the period, and then I'm going to go back up to frequency. So to find the midline, I could either eyeball literally the middle line of this graph, which runs through 2, or I could do max plus min divided by 2. 4 over 2, which is 2. Sometimes I would even say it's probably easier to find the midline and then confirm your amplitude, because from 2 up to 6 and from 2 down to negative 2 should match your amplitude, right, which is 4. Then I would go the period. So the period, I can start and finish one curve from 0, and each of these, like on the bottom it says 0 to 2, so that means that's 1, and that's 3. So my period, or one full curve, happens in 3 units, which means the frequency is what? 1/3. Good. Still good? All right, example 2 says the number of daylight hours in a specific city are modeled with a sinusoidal function in the xy plane. The max amount of daylight hours, so max is 13.75, and the minimum amount of daylight hours is 10.53. Based on this information, find the following. So amplitude and midline. Amplitude, I'm going to do max minus min divided by 2. So 13.75 minus 10.53 divided by 2 is 1.61. And midline, 13.75 plus 10.53 divided by 2. $12.14. Good so far? All right, now let's graph these. So think about how these things would typically change any kind of graph. If I'm multiplying by something on the front, what does it typically do to my graph? It's either a stretch or a shrink. So if this is times 2, that means that I just stretched this vertically times 2, okay? And that is your amplitude. So instead of my amplitude being at 1, it just went to 2. What's the negative on the front going to do? Flips it upside down. So my sine curve typically does this. A negative sine curve is going to do that. Are there any other stretches or shrinks? No. A stretch or shrink there would be horizontal. A plus or minus there would shift it right or left. And then added at the end would shift it up and down just like everything else. So my parent function of sine, the key points are staying the same. This would be 0, 1/2 pi, 3 pi over 2, and 2 pi. The only thing that changed was my amplitude and a reflection. Amplitude is now 2. And instead of starting at 0, going up to 2 and down again like this, I am starting at 0 and I am going down to -2, up to pi, up to 0, up to 2, and back down to 0.
And the max and the min are 2 and -2.
Because of the A, which is the number on the front. Yep. So the value, the negative flipped it upside down. The 2 stretches it vertically, so it changes your amplitude. And then it said 2 periods. This is 1. So because sine is odd, I could literally just reflect it back the other way across the y-axis. Now go to B. The 3 is doing what? Good. Changes my amplitude to 3. So I'm going up to 3 and down to -3. And it's cosine. Cosine, we start at the amplitude. Down, down, up, up. And cosine is even, so I'm literally going to reflect it back the other way. Questions so far? All right, so what happens when we start to move these things around and we start to pick apart an equation is all those translations that we've done in the past kind of carry over, but they have different names now. So our equations are going to say A sine B parentheses theta plus C, close those parentheses, close them again, plus D. Or it's going to say A cosine B, close the parentheses, theta plus C, close them again, and then plus D at the end. Now let's talk about all these parts. What did we say the A does? The A is going to stretch vertically and it's going to change our amplitude. So the amplitude is the absolute value of A. If A is negative, all it's going to do is flip it upside down. It doesn't change the amplitude. The amplitude still stays positive, okay? So if I had a negative 5, amplitude's 5. The negative flips it upside down, which is what it says next, right? Negative of the function is reflected over the x-axis. So it flips it upside down, okay? The next thing is the B. So typically if I'm multiplying something inside the parentheses times my variable, what does it do to a graph? What's it called? If you multiply inside the parentheses. It's a horizontal dilation, okay? What does a horizontal dilation look like? It's like the wall's caving in, right? It's stretching it or shrinking it horizontally, right? So what's going to happen is our natural period is either going to get lessened, so it happens more often, or it's going to get stretched out, so it happens less often, okay? But that B, so there's two ways you need to know this. Either finding B, and that is 2 pi over the period, or sometimes you have B, and you have to find the period, which is 2 pi over B. So if I have the equation and I want the period, 2 pi over B gives me the period. If I have the period, but I want the equation, 2 pi over the period gets to the B. Sure. The C is a phase shift. So normally C, if I add or subtract something inside the parentheses, what does it do to your graph? Shifts it right or left. Our horizontal shift in sinusoidal functions is called a phase shift. It literally does the same thing. If it said plus pi over 2, it would be a shift left, pi over 2. If it said minus pi over 2, it would be a shift right, pi over 2. And then the last thing is your vertical shift, which is usually at the end, but also could be at the beginning. And it is your midline. So if this says plus 1, my midline's at 1. If this said minus 1, my midline's at negative 1. All right, D is the midline. And technically Y equals D is your midline because it's usually an equation. Yep. All right, so let's put it all together. This says find the equation of the following. A sine curve, so note that it gives you the specific type, with a period of 2 pi and an amplitude of 5. So it would be A sine B theta plus C plus D, and we have to find all the parts, okay? What's the A? In this case, it's 5 because it's the amplitude. So 5 sine. How do I find B? Good. 2 pi over the period is B, and the period is 2 pi. Good. Which is like your parent function, right? So B is 1. I'm going to simplify this in a minute, but I'm going to keep it here for now. Is there a horizontal shift or a phase shift? No. So it would be like plus 0, and C would be 0. And is there a shift up or down? No, so my D would also be 0. So on your FRQ, that part that we erased out yesterday or the day before, that B is building this equation and identifying your A, your B, your C, and your D.
How do you get C?
C is if there's a horizontal shift.
So it didn't say so.
This, correct. So I write F of theta equals 5 sine theta. Good so far. Okay, so now here's where it gets tricky, is when you look at B, and first of all, it says cosine. There are more than one ways to do this, okay? So one way is start it at the y-axis. So if I do that, my cosine curve looks like this. So describe this to me verbally. What changes are there from your parent function? It's upside, it's up. Yeah, it's shifted up. It is also upside down. And is the period 2 pi? No, so it's also got a horizontal dilation, which means I'm going to have a change to my A, I'm going to have a change to D, and I'm going to have a change to B. Okay, so let's go through it that way. So I would say probably the easiest way to start it is find your midline. Notice that this is 2. So my midline is at 1. What is that letter in your equation? Midline is? Good, and it would be D, right? Then I would say next easiest thing to find is your amplitude. So how far up and down are you going from that 1? Half. So A is 1/2, and A is also amplitude is also 1/2. But we said what happened to this graph? It was flipped upside down. Yes? Which means what do I have to make that A? A negative 1/2. Good. There's no phase shift because I started at 0, but my period is pi. So B equals 2 pi over pi, which is 2. And again, no phase shift, C would be 0. So as is, this equation would be f of theta equals negative 1/2 cosine theta, not just theta, 2 theta, no C, plus 1. Yep.
I'm sorry, can you explain how you found?
Let's say I chose that as the parent function I want to find the equation of. Does it change your amplitude? No. Does it change your A? It's positive now, right? So my A is now a positive A. So it'd be positive 1/2. Does it change your midline? No. So D is still 1. Does it change the period? No, it's still, the period would still be, because now I'm going from pi over 2 to 3 pi over 2. It'd still be pi. So B is still 2 pi over pi, which is 2. But now, am I starting at the y-axis? No, so this has a phase shift. Do we see that? So I shifted it to the right, pi over 2, right? What does that look like in an equation? C is negative pi over 2. So now my equation is f of theta equals positive 1/2 cosine 2 theta minus pi over 2 plus 1. So you got to separate out your B from your C, otherwise you'd have to distribute it in, which changes this, okay? But just realize there are more than one ways to do those equations at the end because you get to choose where to start. If the phase shift throws you off, then stick to the initial one, but make sure you reflect it.